Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yo, if you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action, speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you will see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. So, as we celebrate, today is Easter Sunday. Yeah, man, today is Easter Sunday where, Jamaicans, we eat fried fish and bun and cheese and, and we celebrate the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And we know that Jesus Christ wasn't a white man. So, as Marcus Garvey had said, if God is white, him don't want to meet God, because God is a wicked God, because everything that has to do with white is evil. That's Marcus Garvey's own words, because he says that if you are God's children, you would not enslave others, and you would not be this evil to them. So that's why they had labeled Marcus Garvey as the most dangerous black man on earth. Have over 65 million people following him. That was back then, and there was no social media. We don't have any, in the 21st century, we don't have a leader like Marcus Garvey, someone who speaks truth, because you have to understand that we live in a world where liars and Judases reign. So you're looking at some of, some top Jamaicans, people look up to. In Jamaica, for you to be popular, you have to be someone who's immoral. Yes, when we say immoral, unethical, you have to be anti-police, anti-government. But yet still, it all depends on which government, because it has to do with party. So you're looking at some of your, known celebrities. You're looking at one named Sizzla Kalonji, Shaggy, Muta Baroka, Buju Banton, and Vybz Kartel. These are all people that Jamaican people look up to. Some Jamaicans would rather to take their cues from them than from men like me, because I see them see me as an informer. So today is Easter Sunday, a day of profound significance for Christians around the world. It is the day that we reflect on the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. A moment in time that symbolizes sacrifice, betrayal, and ultimately redemption. But in our reflection, we must also strive for truth, not just spiritual truth, but historical truths. Let us remember, Jesus Christ was not a European man with blue eyes and blonde hair. He was born in a region we now know as the Middle East, a land that was and still is home of people of darker complexion, Africans. But as usual, it's white man, them behave like the world is theirs, so them go around and name people, change people they named of regions and all kind of things to suit them own self, because they know that they behave like they are the master of this world and the earth itself, planet earth. Yes. So historical, geographical and scriptural evidence point to a man with Semitic and African features. That are Jesus Christ. And a man, in all likelihood, look far more like today's Ethiopians or Sudanese than any modern European. So all of the white Jesus them way any of your family member have, take that down, because that's not Jesus. Jesus is not a white man. The white man are dead for black people suffering. It was no European that was being terrorized. It was black people. So what does that mean? It means we must reclaim our spiritual heritage with pride and stop embracing colonial imagery that replaces truth with whitewash fiction. It also means acknowledging that no white man can lay claims to being the Son of God, simply based on race, a concept that has been subtly and dangerously used to imply divine superiority in a world dominated by European imperialism. So even that them try to claim say them superior to us when they come on to spirituality, when they are the wickedest people on earth. But that's how liars are, you know. Them believe all in them own lies. But as time goes by and them get black people docile, that's them even their arms up the oppressors. Now, as we remember the betrayal of Jesus Christ by Judas Iscariot, who turned himself over to the authorities for 30 pieces of silver, we must also ask ourselves, how many Judases walk amongst us today? How many? The betrayal did not end 2,000 years ago. We are witnessing modern day betrayals, particularly among black Jamaicans who are selling out their nation, their culture and their identity to foreign influence in the name of political power and personal gain. And the bitter irony, these betrayals are often in service of people who do not share our lived experience, our history of struggle, or our ancestral roots. One of the clearest and most painful examples in the celebration and elevation of Mark Gummibeer Golding, a man born in Britain, and now is the leader of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, a party that once stood for the symbol of black liberation and empowerment, which was all a facade, and it was a scam. So let's be honest, Mark Golding has nothing in common with the average Jamaican people, man or woman, who has endured poverty, systemic injustice, and the weight of colonial residue. And yet, many of our black brothers and sisters have embraced him, not because of what he represents, but because of what he promises: power, access and money. 30 pieces of silver all over again. This is the new Judas syndrome. Black people turning against their own, elevating foreign interests, and betraying the spirit of Marcus Garvey, Paul Boudreaux, Sham Sharp, in the name of so-called progress. They have become agents of cultural and political regression. So, as we break bread this Easter, let us also break the chains of mental slavery. Let us not just commemorate the crucifixion of Christ, but also recognize the betrayal patterns that keep repeating themselves in modern society, especially in politics. I remember, Judas did not wear arms and carry a pitchfork. He was a friend, a disciple, and someone who walked with Christ. Just like today, betrayers don't always come in obvious forms. They often come disguised as saviors, speaking sweet words, while selling your soul behind your back. I will remind you again that today is Easter Sunday, a day when millions reflect on the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is a time of spiritual introspection, a reminder of the ultimate sacrifice made for truth, justice and redemption. And while we commemorate the death of Christ, betrayed by Judas Iscariot for 30 pieces of silver, let us not overlook the chilling reality that in April 2025, yes, April 2025, modern day Judases walk amongst us right here in Jamaica. Yes, we are surrounded by those who have sold out the spirit, struggle and cultural dignity of our people to a man who symbolized everything that our ancestors fought against. Mark Beer Golding, a big belly white man of British descent, born in England, whose family lineage is deeply rooted in the economic spoils of slavery. Let that sink in. The same people who once profited from the blood, sweat and tears and broken backs of our ancestors, of our foreparents, now have descendants poised to become Prime Minister of Jamaica. And many black Jamaicans, including so-called Pan-Africans and Rastas, are cheering him on. Where is the outrage? Where are the voices of righteousness? Where are the Rastas who once stood firmly against Babylon, who beat drums against injustice, who chanted down colonialism and defend the teachings of Marcus Garvey and Emperor Haile Selassie I? They are now silent as lambs led to the slaughter. Why? Because political party, they blindly worship the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. And we said before, and we are telling you again, say it's now morphed into a criminal organization, has become more sacred to them than the teaching of Garvey's, the wisdom of Selassie, or even the moral values of Jesus Christ himself. Worse yet, the same man, Mark Beer Golding, a man who has no cultural, spiritual or ancestral connection to the lived experience of black Jamaican, has told our people in essence to abandon dignity, morality and order, even encouraging behavior that mocks our faith, culture and history. He's emboldened the movement that tell black men to open their rectum, them batty hole and take it like a girl, of vulgar assault and masculinity, decency and African identity. Remember, Rastas were the cheerleader against this kind of promotion and this kind of behavior. Now they are silent because the white man who's telling black men to do it is their party leader. So these people have no moral compass, and yet those who once called themselves warriors of righteousness are now kowtowing to this new version of Pharaoh. Yes, for all political crumbs, access and patronage. Yeah man, so Shaggy now can, once PNP in a power, so all along when Shaggy keep him Shaggy and friends thing them at Jamaica house, pan land, it was nothing about no Buster man children. It was more about him, because if he care about the children, every year doesn't matter which party in a power, him still keep it. So that means he more or less he must be doing something wrong. And he know that he was doing something nefarious when the PNP in government. As the Labour them took over, he no longer support the Bustamante Children Hospital, so it was all politics. That's not love. You don't love your children, them are Jamaican people. So you're a fraud. But make no mistake, the greatest danger is not Mark Beer Golding himself. The real dangers lie in those black Jamaicans who have become traitors to their own people. They have willingly traded the legacy of Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp, Nanny of the Maroons, in which boy I would have really like the Maroon them, call them a traitor and sellout. So, say Marcus Garvey is our modern hero. Yeah. So them sell out all Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp, George William Gordon for likes, applause and position. They no longer march with the spirit of Garvey. They now dance to the tune of their modern day slave master, Mark Beer Golding. These Judases are more dangerous than the colonizers himself, because their betrayal comes from within. They look like us, speak like us, but their hearts are no longer with us. They are the reason our culture is being hijacked. They are the ones who make a mockery of our struggles and spit on the grave of our ancestors for 30 pieces of silver, or in the case, a seat in parliament, a government contract, or the illusion of progress. So on this Easter Sunday, as we honor the memory of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and he wasn't a white man, and all those who were persecuted for standing on principle, let us ask, who are the Judases amongst us? Who has chosen to betray Jamaica for status? And when will we rise, not in anger, but in truth and clarity, to call out this betrayal for what it truly is? The resurrection we need in Jamaica today is not just spiritual, it's cultural, mental, and political. It's time to resurrect the spirit of Garvey, Selassie, Bogle, and Jesus Christ, and crucify the cowardice and betrayal that has infiltrated our land. So, a sacred day in Christian tradition, when we reflect upon the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, not a European, Jesus was not a white man, so we have to remind you, because we know that the PP in the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization view Mark Golding as if he's Jesus Christ. No white man not dead for no black, no white man never died for our on any cross being crucified in Africa. It was Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and he was not white. So that goes to show you, as Marcus Garvey said, if God is white, he no want to meet him. God's son wasn't white. So for many of us, this is not merely a religion event. It's not a religious event, but a moment to assess the moral and spiritual state of our society. As a people, especially in the Caribbean and in Jamaica, we were raised on a mixture of reverence, resistance, and rhythm. Our churches preach salvation, our communities chant justice, and our music, reggae and dancehall has long served as the voice of the voiceless, the cry of the oppressed, and the sound of rebellion against Babylon. Yet today, on this solemn occasion, we must ask ourselves, where are the voices of our so-called cultural warriors? They are dead, silent. Where are the cries from the prophets of reggae and defenders of truth? None exists anymore. You would expect that an artist like a Sister Kalanje, Sister Kalanje or Sizzler, a man who who once challenged religious colonialism by boldly declaring, "Your white God is not ours," would be on the front line condemning the moral erosion now sweeping across Jamaica. Instead, we witness a deafening silence from him. The SSCM Sizzler Kalanje, deafening silence from him. Instead, we witness a deafening silence from him and others in the face of Mark Gomebere Golden, the British-born man who's of British ancestry, whose family benefited from the enslavement of African people, and who openly promotes ideology that desensitize black Jamaicans to immorality, indecency, and cultural degradation. Sizzler, Kalanje, Buju Banton, Muta Baruka, Shaggy, Vibes Cartel, yes, even Vibes Cartel, men who have all at various times positioned themselves as voices for black people, as spiritual messengers, as cultural icons, are falling eerily quiet. Not one has spoken out publicly against the words of the agenda of Mark Gomebere Golden and the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, who have now merged politics with moral decay and dragging our culture into confusion and compromise. But silence is not neutrality. Silence in the moment of moral crisis is complicit. These artists are not simply entertainers, they are influencers of generations. And with that influence comes responsibilities. When you have sung about Africa, Selassie, righteousness and liberation, but you turn your face the other way when immorality is knocking on the nation's door, you are not a prophet, you are an hypocrite. The new wave of betrayal, the silent endorsement of cultural erosion, is nothing short of a modern day Judaism. These men have not only abandoned the spiritual foundation they once stood on, they have betrayed the very people who helped them up as icons. They have traded truth for convenience, principle for profit, and righteousness for political alignment. They have become the Judas Iscariots of our generation. And just like Judas betrayed Christ with a kiss, a gesture that appeared loving but was laced with treachery, so too have these artists betrayed the masses with smiles, songs, and silence. Where is Muta Baruka, the once fiery voice against Babylonian system? Where is the Buju Banton, who once sang Boom Bye Bye and told stories about injustice, immorality, and poverty? Where is Sizzler, who once declared that black woman and child was sacred? Where is Shaggy, the global voice, who could influence a generation with just one sentence? Where is the Vibes Cartel, who even with all this controversy command one of the largest audiences in Jamaica? They have gone quiet, but the people are still watching, and the people are, what should we say, still asleep. So this Easter Sunday, as we remember betrayal and resurrection, let us open our eyes and ears. Let us hold accountable not only the political leaders like Mark Gomebere Golden, but also the cultural figures who through their silence have chosen power over principle, alignment over authenticity, and silver over salvation. It is not even to chant Selassie's name or praise Garvey in the lyrics. If your actions betray their teachings, we need artists who are unapologetically righteous, not entertainers who preach truth when it's trending and fall silent when it's uncomfortable. Let this be a wake-up call. Jamaica does not need more stars. Jamaica needs more truth tellers. What we are witnessing is a tragic unraveling of integrity among those one postured as gatekeepers of righteousness and defenders of cultural moralities. These individuals, whether musicians, public figures, or cultural influencers, have revealed that many of their earlier stands were not rooted in deep conviction or moral courage, but rather in the trend-driven opportunism. They weren't burning out injustice, immorality, or Babylon with conviction. They were performing rebellion because it was fashionable. It gave them clout. It kept them relevant. It sold records. It won applause from the crowds who longed for leadership in a world of confusion. But now, in a time when true courage is needed, when the culture has been flooded with ideologies that erode the very foundation of our heritage, they have abandoned the cause. They now embrace, endorse, or silently enable the very thing they once rallied against. The fire they once claimed to carry has turned to smoke and mirrors. Their message has become hollowed, their silence deafening. Their lack of core values is not just disappointing, it is dangerous, because when the people's profit becomes puppets and the voices of the oppressed go mute, a society loses its moral compass. So we must no longer look to these compromised figures for guidance or truth. Instead, we must raise up new voices that are rooted in principle, unwavering in truth, and unafraid to challenge both political system and cultural complacency. Because righteousness is not a costume you put on for stage. It is a legacy. It's a lifestyle and a lifelong commitment. And until we demand more from those we elevate, the betrayal will continue, cloaked in music, dressed in fame, and fed to us as culture, when these people are the modern day Judas Iscariots. So you're looking at some of the biggest sellouts from Jamaica: Sizzla Kalonji, Shaggy, Muta Baruka, Shaggy, and not to mention, the most known, evil, and 21st century murderer, Vybz Kartel, Jamaica's biggest gangster, living in South Florida. Have yourself a beautiful Easter Sunday. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.